there's a whole generation, and it's my generation. There's a whole generation that came in, let's call it post Vietnam, did their 20, 30 years, and uh, was exposed to every bit of this. And the science didn't exist then. And now they're out, they're retired. And now there is stuff to look at brains and look at, get what does that generation need to be looking at, looking for, and doing? Because I've got a ton of brothers out there that I serve with that have never had their brain scanned, never pulled their panels on their blood and stuff. What's your recommendation? What should they be doing?
Yeah. Well, I give a step-by-step, 1, 2, 3 series of recommendations in a later chapter in the Operator Syndrome book, to specifically walk guys through that. Also going to put that out on in Havoc Journal starting Monday. So some very important parts of the book are going to come out the next 4 Mondays. So it's going to be a 4-part series in Havoc Journal. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be there, but and it'll be free. But I can say what I would recommend. First, hormone panel, metabolic panel, sleep study. I mean, if you haven't had those, get those done. That's low hanging fruit. And then, depending on what those results look like, follow up with whatever medical care that means. Another one is get your ass sober. Alcohol is the worst possible thing you can be doing for your brain, for your hormones, for your sleep. And I'm not necessarily claiming I'm a teetotaler myself, but try to minimize, if not eliminate. Live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, because part of traumatic brain injury means massive inflammation in the brain. And chronic inflammation in our body is a driver of all of our chronic diseases in the modern world: depression, diabetes, cancers, autoimmune disorders, etc. To lower that inflammation in the body. And the way to do that is to prioritize sleep, moderate exercise at least, clean diet, meaning whole foods with sufficient protein. Cut out processed foods as much as you can. So that's sugar, soda, fast food, junk food. Cut that out as much as you possibly can. Practices like hot sauna bathing, cold plunges, meditation, prayer, things that are, all of these things have wonderful physiological benefits for our bodies. Then in terms of other treatments, and I'm not necessarily naysaying traditional mental health care, especially if you can find a therapist who is competent and understands what a soldier's life is and what it means, or a first responder, what it means to be in the streets as a police or a firefighter. If you can find, there are not very many of them out there, but if you can find one, they can be very valuable. There is a soft network of therapists in the U.S., and it's called the SOFT Network. You can go to the website, SOFT Network website, and there's a state registry. You can find the therapists in your state who've been recognized as being competent to work with soldiers. A treatment that I recommend is stellate ganglion block therapy. Stellate ganglion block therapy is a very safe, simple, quick, outpatient procedure involving injecting a little bit of medicine into the stellate ganglion nerve, which is the sympathetic nervous system. So that's the fight or flight. What it does is it lowers the baseline physiological arousal, from a 7, 8, 9 down to more of a 2 or a 3. That stellate ganglion block treatment is, again, it's safe, it's outpatient, it's quick. Mental health care doesn't provide it, though. Psychiatrists can't do this procedure. You have to have a neurologist or an anesthesiologist. Oftentimes you can find this in pain clinics. My opinion is the VA should have, on the first floor of every VA, a clinic it's almost like a walk-in clinic. I mean, we did that for COVID with vaccines, right? Why can't we do this with this stellate ganglion block? It's not a miracle cure, but what it will do is it will open a door of opportunity for you to start to feel immediately relaxed, to start sleeping better, to be much less angry and aroused. Uh, some spouses have refer to it as the anti-asshole treatment because their husbands come back.
So maybe I need it.
Come back well, yeah. And well, I don't know you well enough yet to say that.
I have my moments,
but like it's profound, and it lasts. It'll last for months. So oftentimes 6 months, 8 months. You know, plenty of guys that have had it at 12 or 18 months. Some never need it again. Some go back and get it a year later. But part of what it does is it just creates a space for you to be able to sleep better. And once you start catching up on your sleep, a lot of good things happen from there. Then it makes it easier to eat better and to change other lifestyle things. It makes it easier to start journaling and meditating. And again, it's not an expensive or risky treatment. I have one of my guys at Dam Neck right now. A guy I've been kind of harping on him for a few years now to get this treatment. And he finally did it about 3 or 4 months ago. And he called me that night and he was like, dude, holy cow, I feel so good now. Why didn't I do this sooner? You were right. He said, I don't ever remember feeling this calm and relaxed. And it's lasted, he started sleeping better. Things with his family, his wife have improved dramatically. He's performing better. And that's the other thing is some guys think of it as, it might dope me up. No, it clears that noise out of your nervous system. So now you're relaxed better, you're sleeping better, your concentration is going to improve, your short-term memory is going to improve. And it just opens the door to begin, to functioning and feeling better.
So basically you got to start. So for our community, this is a tough one. You got to start admitting to yourself, number one, I may need help. Number two, my performance is not where it used to be. Number three, my big one, I have sleep issues and I hit the brain fog. I hit a mind fog. And I've tried a lot of different things. But what I'll tell all the military operators out there, there's two foundations that I strongly support. One is a Hunter 7 Foundation, and you can get a full body and brain scan done if you apply to them and are accepted. And I will tell you the peace of mind. You sit in that MRI machine for, I think it's 94 minutes, and they look at every piece of your body, head to toe. And it's nice to come out of there and know that, you don't have a blockage somewhere, you don't have a tumor, this, that, and the other. And then Warrior Health Foundation. All of us, if you're retired military, active military, can go get your metabolic blood panels. They tell the tale. And if you're having hormonal issues, they're the guys to apply to. Sean's crew down there, it's been amazing for me. I've been with them for 5 years. I can tell you that through the two foundations I just talked about, I have remedied everything but my sleep. I've tried to work on my sleep with Virginia High Performance. My big thing is I have this massive overactive brain. It doesn't shut down.
Stellate ganglion block might be able to help you with that.
I might need to look into it.
Yeah.
And I think if people are listening that know me, they might line up to put it in me. But no, that's good to know, because my thing that is hurting my performance and the thing that bothers me the most is the overactive brain. And the problem I have is I am very into human performance and nutrition and probably overhydrate. So when I wake up in the middle of the night to go take a leak and my brain turns on, I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens to me. I cannot shut it down. I've even tried through Virginia High Performance. They had someone they were working with. I've even tried the brain therapy, where they basically the mini electrodes.
The alpha stim.
This alpha stim. And it is so, as I understand it, it's extremely successful with a lot of people. It increased my tinnitus. And that was the reason I had to stop it. Is I have severe tinnitus, as an MH-47 pilot in 160th for years. My tinnitus is through the roof.
Do you sleep with a fan on or any white noise?
No. And everybody talks about the white noise. Yeah. I've got a friend that sleeps with the white noise thing on the phone or uses a fan. Mm-hmm. And I kind of giggle about it, but now I think I probably need to do it.
Oh, try it. If you haven't tried it, it's definitely try it. How about breathing? Do you do any kind of breathing practice?
I actually do some breathing drills and exercises. It's more for human performance than anything. But
well, sleep is you need to perform.
I agree. Everything that I do, the proper eating, the training, everything I do, I totally understand that starting with the brain, that if I am not resting, I am not
Yeah,
recovering.
yeah.
And I believe me, I know the science on it and I preach it. I just can't do it.
Can't do it.
And I'm always looking for what I can.
I'll share my sleep protocol.
Let's hear it.
So I do a version of box breathing, and I don't count only when I hold the breath, and then after I exhale, I count after the exhale. I don't count on the inhale or the exhale. And what I do is so inhale slowly, and I'll hold for a 4 count. Exhale slowly, hold for a 4 count, hold for a 5 count, 5 count at the bottom, at the top, then a 6, and I go up to 10, where I'm holding for 10 and holding at the top and the bottom. And I usually fall asleep before I get to 10.
Really?
If I don't fall asleep, I just stop and I take a few, regular slow deep breaths, and then I just kind of let go, and I usually fall asleep within a minute or two after that.
I need to try it.
I do it again if I wake, when I wake up in the night, because we're about the same age. I do it again, and I get up in the night, take a leak. My brain can start up again very quickly. And I know exactly what you're describing. What I do is I lay down and I say, stop it. You don't need to think about that now. And I go do the breathing. And it almost always works for me. Really
I'm going to
well.
give it a whirl. And it's funny because for me, box breathing, usually what I do is when I transition from Olympic weight training, get ready to do my anaerobic training, I do some box breathing to warm up with part of my warm up, and it relaxes me.
Mm-hmm.
So
What it's supposed to do.
yeah, it totally relaxed me. So I'm going to give that a whirl and give it a shot. I'm trying, some of the conventional things you can take. The one thing I do is I'm very big into the zinc and the magnesium at night and stuff too. I've gotten nothing else out of the natural herbals. It just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, some things actually give me like that hangover fog. So I've stayed away from that. But no, I'm going to give it a whirl.